Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time again. It is 8:43 p.m. on Sunday, the 5th of October, 2025. Well, I'm going to begin at home. So, a lot of really good things going on here. Building a home, starting a business. And it's a weird time to be doing these things. It seems cross current, upstream. A lot of times the craziest things are really the sanest. Nobody ever really built a life for themselves in this world without taking a risk, going upstream, going counter-current. You know, lately I've been thinking about a lot of things. I've been thinking about what some people are saying in public. A lot of people out there talking about the end of something, And you can feel it, I went and brushed my teeth just before the podcast. And I was walking back. It's only about like 15 meters or so, 20 meters, to go to the sink to brush my teeth from my little bodega here. And my mind went to the Battle of Agincourt. Do you guys know anything about the Battle of Agincourt? It's captured beautifully in Henry V by William Shakespeare. And it's worth taking a look.
Nobles, jealous of your absence, seek through the camp to find you.
Good old knight. Collect them all together at my tent. I'll be before thee. O God of battle, steel my soldiers' hearts. Possess them not with fear. Take from them now their sense of reckoning, if the opposed numbers pluck their hearts from them. Not today, O God, oh, not today. Think not upon the fault my father made in compassing the crown. I, Richard's body, have interred new, and on it have bestowed more contrite tears than from it issue forced drops of blood. 500 poor I have in yearly pay, who twice a day their withered hands hold up toward heaven to pardon blood. And I have built 2 chantries, where the sad and solemn priests sing still for Richard's soul. More will I do, though all that I can do is nothing worth, since that my penitence comes after all, imploring pardon. My brother Gloucester's voice, I know I errand. I will go with thee. The day, my friends, and all things stay for me.
Our steeds for present service, nay.
Mount them, and make incision in their hides, that their hot blood may spin in English eyes.
Do but behold yon poor and starved band, and your fair show shall suck away their souls, leaving them but the shales and husks of men. There is not work enough for all our hands.
Why do you stay so long, my lords of France? Yon island carrions, desperate of their bones, ill-favoredly become the morning field.
They have said their prayers, and they stay for death. A very little let us do, and all is done. Then let the trumpet sound, the tucket sonnets, and the note to mount. For our approach will so much dare the field, that England shall couch down in fear and yield.
Where is the king? The king himself is rode to view their battle.
Of fighting men, they have full 70,000.
That's 5 to 1. Besides, they are all fresh.
'Tis a fearful odds.
Oh, that we now had here but 10,000 of those men in England that do no work today.
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? No, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. Brother, proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand at tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall see this day and live old age will yearly, on the vigil, feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow is St. Crispin's. Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars, and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. Then shall our names, familiar in their mouths as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son,
and Crispian shall ne'er go by, from this day to the ending of the world. But we in it shall be remembered.
We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he ne'er so vile, this day shall gentle his condition.
And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whiles any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day!
My sovereign lord, bestow yourself with speed. The French are bravely in their battle set, and will with all expedients march upon us.
All things are ready if our minds be so.
Perish the man whose mind is backward now.
Thou dost not wish more help from England, cuz?
God's will, my liege. Would you and I alone, without more help, can fight this royal battle?
You know your places! God be with you all!
Once more I come to know of thee, King Harry, if for thy ransom thou wilt now compound. Before thy most
Well, there you go. You get the gist of it, right? For those of you who have seen Henry V or read it, you know where Spielberg got the title for his HBO miniseries, right? Band of Brothers, right from Henry V. Now, the Battle of Agincourt really happened, and the English did prevail. That is true history. I sometimes think that a life without any intense challenges is an almost wasted life, as though God has paid no mind to you. Challenge, in many ways, is the summoning to God, because it's only when we're deeply challenged that we contemplate our mortality, and in that contemplation we seek an answer to eternity. And then you can just put that calculus variable into the equation, the dominant X that we call God. Soul searching, inward speculation, inward contemplation. Now, what's so weird about the time that we're in is that it has all the tension and all the anxiety of the eve and the morn before Agincourt. And yet there are no soldiers mounted, there is no camp of soldiers, there is no French force fresh, awaiting the battle which they see as a slaughter. There's none of the visible accoutrements of stress or anxiety or fear for mortality. And yet they're here, are they not? And do we not feel them every day now? Even here. Cursed Starlink keeps me plugged to the hive mind, and I'm left to the musings of a junkie, an information junkie. And the balm upon this bitterness, this scalding on my skin, is moving forward. Living life as though everything is as it's supposed to be, which is the proclivity of one who's already gone through a dark night, or several. You know, I read Cliff High today, and I usually find cliffs I usually find his published stuff, I don't know, kind of stupid, actually. No offense. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to weigh the scales between expedience and direct communication, direct language, and the consideration of another, and more than just the other, but the others who find meaning and consoling in these words. But today was the exception. Today there was something very magical. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read Cliff High's post on the Telemanker Review, if you haven't read it. Very interesting. And as you're listening to this, I want you to contemplate it in the context I've given so far in this podcast, which is the Battle of Agincourt and challenge and the ongoing human struggle. That is the way to contemplate it. It's titled Missionary Men, with a message you'd better believe. Cliff High, October 5th. Missionary men. Men with a message you'd better believe. Remember, no thing that is nothing in this common shared reality exists before it is experienced. So there was no time before there was a consciousness advanced enough to experience duration while aware of that perception. Then time in this universe was made manifest. Same thing with the event stream. Once you become conscious of it, time fades down to simply a marker. It's very similar to driving. You can put your awareness into seeing all the road signs or not, as you choose. The driving experience does not require it either way. Time does not exist. It is a mental construct formed by the perception of duration. Thus, time is malleable. It's fluid, like with changing characteristics, all due to the state of your mind, altering the qualities of your perception by shifting your awareness during that period of experiencing that duration. Since the initiation of this materium experience, what we inside call life in the universe, there's been a continuous stream of events occurring that form an unbroken chain. And this event stream exists in what is termed this eternal now. Our local instance of this eternal now has new inhabitants. It's the space aliens. They are non-human intelligence. Maybe. Some humans have shifted their awareness into the eternal now and the event stream. They are no longer living in time. In this perception of this eternal now, our new system inhabitants can be ascertained. They are inhabitants because they are not visitors. They are sticking around, taking up residence. We can see them out there, mucking about in our event stream, doing shit. Oh, now be clear. No channelers, no other wackadoos are ever living in this eternal now, experiencing aware interaction with the event stream. Those are just grifters, still trapped in the materium, thinking that matter matters and money is meaningful as they desperately try to scam yours away from you. Those guys, you know them. YouTube spiritualist masters. Buy my video class on ascending. These guys are pretenders. They don't know dick about our common shared reality. They are so blind to it that they fail to see universe speaking through them and about them. No one is ascending anytime soon. And have to say it, and these fellows are cowards, disgusting to me. They are always wanting to flee, to hide, to escape, to get out, to ascend, to not face this common shared reality. We are here. We are the doers in the body. We are to simply be here in this eternal now, to perceive. The rest of it we will figure out as we experience it. We always do. In this continuously changing but eternal now, our event stream has become more complex now that the aliens are here. This complexity increase will be itself quite complex to comprehend. It'll be somewhat like going swimming with your woman off the coast of a small island in crystal clear waters where you discover that you can both also swim in the air as well as the water. It'll strike you as very funny in that emergence that you never noticed that humans can swim in the air before. Silly you. As humans experience their personal slip out of time and into the eternal now, many will become missionary men. Men determined to deliver the message of their experience. Humanity is leaving time behind. Oh, and we're not alone. Well, I gotta say, Uncle Cliff verges on Wallace Stevens there in some of those paragraphs. Especially the second or third paragraph at the beginning. There's actually a lot of commonality between Cliff and Wallace Stevens. Go back and listen to that Sunday morning poem again from the podcast I played it on, or just find it online and listen to it or read it. The transition we're going through and the challenge of this generation, and the generation is always up to the challenge. There's nothing out of place in creation. This is the true principle of faith, and you can't really live without faith. The posers and the bullshit artists that Cliff was talking about are people like the now disgraced Andrew Bartzis. And many of you have written to me asking where the articles are that I wrote about him. This has become something of cause du jour, cause of the day. It's interesting because it's about 2 years since I wrote those articles. Now keep in mind as I say these things that there was nothing false, at least in the beginning, of this gentleman's ability to read time and to give a contextualization of human history heretofore unheard, at least outside the confines of endowed secret societies who had readers of that caliber, but I doubt they did. So it was relatively new information for the world. But as Uncle Cliff says, our spiritual life is about being here and now, not about making money selling readings for $5,000 an hour. The spiritual character of a person is determined by simple things, not by psychic abilities or magnificent observational or consciousness power. We've been told again and again and again in every tradition on the planet. Nobody's left this stone unturned. The old Hebrews warn us of getting into the soothsaying and the necromancy and all of this stuff. And I dipped into it, really, in writing these books. Never really did it, though. Though I know it's true because on occasion, Spirit will give me the gift of an insight into something, but only as a spiritual lesson. Not as a new tool I can apply like a battery-powered drill to put holes into whatever I want to put holes in, to drill screws into whatever I want to drill screws into. And this field of consciousness, Gaia, and all this bullshit, Andrew Bartzis, and it's all just fucking phony and disgusting. And so are the old religions. They're phony and disgusting. The Abrahamic tradition, much of what's become Buddhism now. I mean, I was reading a Vice article some time ago about the monks in Thailand becoming gangsters, extorting people, selling drugs. It's fucking insane. We're living in crazy times. And the way God will reappear in the world is through independent voices like Cliff's, even though he hates the word God. Hang on, my bestest is here. Come on in, bud. Hey, just make yourself comfortable there. You know? And it's ironic because the religions have fallen. They make no sense to people anymore. And they serve now as a reminder that the divine is always a living pursuit, contextualized in the time and space you live. It's not necessary to go to the Himalayas and live in a cave unless you were born in that part of the world and your family turns you over to yogis when you're 8 or 9 years old and you're raised by them and trained by them. Then it means that the event stream, as our friend Uncle Cliff calls it, wanted you to go through that experience. But we're all meant to go through our own experience and find the universe in it, to find the living moment in it and the purpose in it. And the true value of faith is the realization that everything happening down here is happening for a reason that we may or may not come to understand. And the obstinance, the imprudence, and the chauvinism of this driving intellectual deconstruction force that I talk about often on this podcast, this take it all apart, you know, deconstruct everything, split the atom, hack up dead cadavers to understand human anatomy, and desacralize the spirit, and desacralize or de-seat or unthrone the soul. If you cannot see now that we have been living in a satanic Luciferian age, I don't know what more to say to you. If you wake up every day and you look at the world and you say, this is progress, we're doing well, Way to go, human family. You're just not connecting with reality. Now we are on the eve of something much more tremendous than the Battle of Agincourt. And here Cliff is a very well-read man as well, well-read in matters of contemporary interpretation of consciousness. There's little or no doubt in my mind that Cliff is thoroughly familiar with Terence McKenna's Time Wave Zero, which, by the way, was a report that was achieved through a computational analysis of the I Ching. The I Ching is one of the Taoist holy books. Not really a holy book per se. It's a book that teaches you how to divine things. And they do it a little bit differently in China. It's not like Robert Phoenix and the Egyptian astrology. It's interactive. You have to roll dice, and not dice, but you have to shake these coins in a can and turn the can over, and then certain markers become apparent, and then you read the correlate hexagram in the I Ching, and it gives you your fortune. Remarkably powerful, and one of the early pieces of evidence we had that we were living in a hologram. And there's so much evidence now that we're living in this hologram that it can't be denied. And the next step in growth for human beings is to step out of the hologram while still occupying it. So our consciousness will step out of the hologram while our spirit, our soul is still connected to the living body. It's beautiful and it's terrifying. It reminds me of a line that I forgot what I was going to say. I just got distracted. Cliff just posted another Substack. We're going to be in the world, but not of the world anymore. Now, I've had this secret belief, this knowing. I don't know how I know this, but, well, I do know how I know it now that I think about it for a second. You see, what's out there, believe it or not, is very scared of us. And that may not seem like much. That may seem farcical to you now. It may seem completely and utterly ridiculous to you. Oh, come on, Bruce. Why would the Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Palladians, and even the Reptilians be afraid of this imbecilic and incapable race stumbling through the mud and shitty drawers on this third rock from the sun? It's because of what we are. We're an amalgamation of genetic input. And while in the past I have said that yes, this is a hothouse, this is a farm of sorts, and it has been those things. And what is it that these higher, more intelligent, more powerful, more long-living, space-traveling beings want from us? We stupid human beings. What could we possibly have that they want? Our psychic energy, which is telling you something right there. The loosh. Why? Why do they need all this psychic? Why does this planet generate so much ephemeral energy? Why is the human heart and the human constructs like a power station for so many of these entities and beings? You know? And then also a kind of a parts factory, if you will, for genetics, for realigning and hybridizing with races that have genetically mucked themselves up. But that's all just nonsense. It's true and it's untrue at the same time. And the demarcation is what is going away. Time. The human race has been distilling down here, and a barrel is about to be opened, the likes of which nothing in the universe has ever tasted. It will evaporate on the tongue in delicious sweetness. And that's us. We're going out there. Maybe not physically in a ship, but here, we're going out there. And the powers that be on the planet, which are connected to negative forces that can't grow to the same heights of consciousness and expression that a souled human being can. And they look like us, they walk like us, they have a lot of power on the planet now in politics, banking, entertainment. They're not us. They've been stealing from us. That's what all these stories are about, like Cat Williams. All these, even Kane West. They've been stealing from us. They've been stealing our energy, our ideas, our creativity. Why? Because they don't have any. Time Wave Zero by Terence McKenna essentially postulates an event in our timeline in the early 21st century according to his numbers. So impactful that this one event dwarfs the accumulated events of recorded history up until now. Now think about that. That's Buddha, that's Christ, that's all the wars in the world, that's Genghis Khan, it's Alexander the Great, it's all the Greek philosophy and math and spirituality, the early Hebrew spirituality, World War I, World War II, invention of the computer, invention of the internet, fiber optic, everything. Every event in human history, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all aggregated together to form a weight, will not tip the scale as heavier than this one event that's coming. And we can fairly well deduce that this is not necessarily a physical event, although it will have physical repercussions. It will have societal repercussions. And the great question becomes, well, what is it? And the answer is, we don't know. Nobody really knows. You could speculate till the cows come home. But nobody really knows. But you can feel it all around you now, can't you? I feel it. I feel it like those soldiers in Agincourt, the day and the night and the day before the battle. And this generation of human beings, all of us, we are the band of brothers. This is probably the most important generation of humanity to live in history. And I don't mean generation from the marketing perspective, World War II, baby boomer, Gen X. I don't mean that shit. I mean everybody alive. I mean everybody alive now. Now, a lot of people, they're getting this wrong, and they're showing themselves to be fucking idiots, as Cliff says. And it's not just the new age YouTube people talking about ascension and we're going to 5D. It's even established ashrams like my neighbor Shunyamurti over there talking about the end of the world by fire. He hasn't received that by consciousness. He's just interpreting the scriptures. If prophecy is based on a reading of time, and time is going away, of what use is prophecy? Are you starting to get it? Prophecy leads us to the end of time, but the end of time is not the end of life. It's not the end of this journey. There's no end to life. It never ends. There's just states of life. One day you're in one of these suits, these organic suits, and one day you're a spark of light so small an electron microscope couldn't see it, and you can go anywhere in the universe and do anything. It's all life. The human race is getting a massive upgrade. And what's coming next, I think, in many ways will be the death of cynicism. The death of the old philosophical model, the death of even great thinkers like my favorite writer, Cormac McCarthy, who never found God, never found peace, never found consciousness, never found himself, despite being the greatest living writer in the English language. Just because you can communicate well doesn't mean that you have figured everything out. I'm going to title this podcast The Anxiety of Agincourt. I'm Bruce McDonald, and this has been the Telemanca Review.